So you don't know how to cut spiky hair? Watch the video and let's see the results at the end, man. What's going on, guys, and thank you guys for watching another video. Today we are doing a mid-skin fade with a textured messy top. And with this haircut, it can be very challenging because the spiky hair does not want to sit right all the time. See, the biggest thing on this haircut is making sure the cowlick grows out nicely. And this is one thing that the client was struggling with a lot before. He was trying to find a barber that could make the cowlick look nice even a week after the haircut. Every barber tries to make the haircut look good when they walk out the door, but it's more important how the haircut looks when they come back and how it grew in. Because no one wants to get a haircut every week because the cowlick is spiking up already. So what we're doing here to set a good foundation for the haircut is we're separating the top from the sides. And with doing that, it's going to give us a lot less to focus on. Now we're just focusing on the sides. We're not even worried about the top right this moment. And what I'm doing right here is I'm finding the occipital bone so that I can start the foundation there so we don't go too high on the cowlick, and then the 3 guard will blend perfectly into the foundation so we don't have to worry about any clipper over comb or anything like that at the end. Just a few detailing tips at the very end, that's it. And when you're setting the foundation, you want the second knuckle to always be on the head. And when you put your second knuckle on the head, that'll ensure that a 3 guard will blend smoothly with the foundation and then eventually smoothly with the top. So right here, we're sectioning it in the middle so that we can connect the top to the foundation so that we don't have any overhang when the haircut is finished. That's the best thing to do to make sure you have a smooth transition between the top and the sides. And most of the time I keep the bangs a little bit longer just because that's how people are liking to keep their haircuts, a little longer in the front so it hangs right above the eyebrows. And when I'm connecting the sides to the top, I like to pull the hair up a little bit so that it keeps more length. And then immediately after I connect the sides to the top, I start pulling up the hair directly out of the head, just so that we can make sure everything's even on top and even with the sides. And after that, we go ahead and do the profile section to make sure everything's all even on top, and then we'll be done with the top. All we have to do is style it and then fade the sides. And then after I've cut the top completely, the first product I like to put in there is sea salt spray. And then right after I use the sea salt spray, I go ahead and go straight in with the 245 clay, just to give it a more stronger hold. And then right after that, after we put all the product in the root of the hair, we go ahead and get the diffuser and start diffusing this hair. And you can see that I slipped the diffuser guard, and you can see it's already blended in with the sides because I just took a 3 guard up the sides and just blended that in with the foundation. And now we're going ahead and setting the ball line in with the trimmer, just going all the way around the head. And I keep the back lower than the front just so that it doesn't cut the crown short and I'm not fading it too high. And as soon as we debulk everything with the trimmers, we go ahead and use the shaver so that everything is smooth. And then right after the shaver, we like to go ahead and with the half guard closed and do that initial guideline all the way around the head to make sure that it's even with the first guideline that we set with the trimmer. And then after we set that closed half guard guideline all the way around evenly, we go ahead and take the guard off and just blend down from there, starting with the no guard all the way open and going all the way smoothly to close until we see that blend start to come together. And one reason I started putting the half guard in and just closing the clipper all the way is because I felt like it was a smoother transition and just easier to get that line out at the end. And since we're kind of trying to keep the fade really low here in the back, we're using the 1 guard closed instead of fading down. I feel like that's just the best way to get the nice fade. And then after the 1 guard closed, we go ahead and take that guard off and do a half guard open and just fade back down just like we did no guard. And then as soon as we fade that 1 guideline out, we go ahead and put the 1.5 open and then we fade back down. And that should be the last guard that I use. If I do use another guard, it'll just be the 2 just to kind of make sure it's a seamless blend between the foundation and the fade. But then we just take the 1.5 and open it and then we use the middle section and then close it down until it goes all the way down. And the fade comes together extremely nice. And then after we used the 1.5 guard all that we could, we went ahead and took the 1 guard open, and now we have to fade that into the 1 guard closed guideline, and that's it. Simple and easy, guys. And then after I did that, the fade is all together. Now we're just using a little bit of detail work with the clip over comb so that the haircut has a nice shape and nothing is overlapping anything. And when doing clip over comb, when I go upwards like this, I generally do that to make it blend nicer and not take so much weight out of the haircut, because it leaves a softer finish. And then after we use the clip over comb just a little bit, just to get a little detail work, we're getting a little more detailed in what we're doing, and we're taking the shears and do shear over comb just to get the faint lines out and the little bit of overhanging hairs. And then after that, we just move into the lineup. Since it's a lower fade, we're having a C-cup in the fade, so we're using our trimmers to put that in, making it a nice shape. And then just to finish off the haircut, now that everything's dry, everything's said and done pretty much, we're using some styling powder to style the hair nicely so that when he leaves, he has a nice finish to it. And one big tip when it comes to fading, always look in the mirror. The mirror is going to show you every imperfection that your eye cannot see at the moment. And it's definitely an amazing strategy, because you can look at your haircut and it can look like a perfect fade, and then you turn around and look at the mirror and you just see every line that you thought wasn't there. And now with this lineup, after we lined it up, we're just making it nice and sharp with the razor, and then finishing off the style with this wide tooth styling comb just to make sure everything is nice and set in place. And after we do that, we just turn around to the chair, and he's extremely happy. This is like my 3rd or 4th time cutting him. I appreciate you guys watching the video, man. Just like, comment, and subscribe, and just let me know if you got any value out of the video, bro.